Tim the Arc here, teaching you how to set up your Elgato capture card and get a very high quality stream on YouTube without any artifacting. If you don't have an Elgato capture card, skip on into the video for the OBS settings. First things first, open up your 4K Elgato capture utility. If you don't have this, just download the Elgato capture utility, go to the gear icon top right, under General, make sure you enable Stream Link. You have to probably check for updates, click devices, make sure you have the right firmware version. If you don't have the new version, just update firmware. I have 19.08.08. My video input is 2560 by 1440p, 60 frames per second. HDMI, it's band. Input, internal. EDID 1440p. After you do all these things and hit OK, go to General, make sure you have 1440p enabled here as well. Now here's the really cool thing. You're going to go over here now to your gaming PC. Right now, everything you see here, this OBS is on my streaming PC. I will set up the OBS after I do something real quick on the gaming PC. Now on my gaming PC, I'm going to go to NVIDIA control panel. And for the NVIDIA control panel, here's some very important things to consider. 1. Max frame rate. Put this at 60 frames so you don't artifact. Low latency mode as well, since you're going into a capture card. It would be good to have the G-Sync on. If you have a G-Sync monitor for your actual gaming, you're going to be playing at 60 frames per second for this type of stream. If you're doing videos, you can do like very high. But because of the YouTube encoders and decoders, you have to do 60 frames per second. Make sure you have all your settings the same as me. You can have OpenGL on auto. VSync, this one's very important. You would like this on. If you go over here to your config at settings, afterwards, I'll show you something useful as well. Virtual reality, pre-rendered frames, 1. On your PhysX, put it on your graphics card on your gaming PC. If you have a 4080 Super or better, maybe even 2080 Ti or better on your gaming PC, put this on. Now, here's a really cool thing. If you followed what I told you on the capture card, come over here to your setup multiple displays. I want to show you why my setting looks like this. So on Windows, go to resolution, change the resolution of the display. Ignore this scaling. I put the scaling just so that you guys could read the text on this video. I do have my display at 2560 by 1440. But here's the important thing. Make sure when you do multiple displays, you hit duplicate these displays. You have to do this after you update your Elgato, because every time you modify that Elgato, it disconnects the device for some users. So follow the steps. Now, once you get to this part, duplicate these displays, you can go back over here to the NVIDIA control panel, set up multiple displays. You should see your capture card and your monitor. My monitor is number 1. So I'm going to click this area. I have it cloned. So what I did, I went to clone with, and I clone with my monitor, number 1, and then clone source, number 1. After clone source number 1, you can hit apply. Save your settings. For another setting, your video color settings, you can just put video setting for NVIDIA color. And for the Elgato, you can also, it should be cloning now. Let's go back over here to the display though. Make sure you have your setting on 1440p. Advanced display settings. This is my monitor, my Asus monitor. Look at that, 60 frames per second. So I don't artifact on YouTube. You can also go back to your event settings for your display settings. And for your Elgato, same thing, 60 frames per second, so that you're not artifacting. It sucks that we have these limitations in 2024, but this is where we are. Now, if you look at the events display settings, your stuff should be all 60. For my adapter, you can see I have a 4080 Super on my gaming PC. Make sure the monitor says 60. Color management, you can just leave this on default. Go back here. Go down to graphics settings. Hardware accelerated GPU scheduling, off. Keep that off. You don't want that on. Game mode. For game mode settings, off. By the way, I'm using Windows 10. So game mode off and hardware accelerated GPU scheduling off. This is on your gaming PC. This is what my gaming PC looks like right now, going through my OBS from the Elgato capture card. Now, let me show you the OBS configurations. Since we have all the monitors resolution set up, we can go to our streaming PC and open our OBS settings. When you import your Elgato, you're going to click the plus button. You're going to do video capture. Just name it something like Elgato. Hit OK, and it's going to be your Elgato. You can add it on there, and then after you add it on there, don't delete it. I'm just deleting it so I don't have a copy. But for my Elgato properties, this is what I have. I have that custom frames per second, 2560 by 1440. I'm matching the output frame. Video format YV12, RAC 709, limited color range, enable buffering because I have a pretty beefy rendering PC, and I'm using a hardware decoding when available. Okay, this is what your Elgato settings are going to look like. If you want to put on a web camera, you can do the same thing. Put your web camera also about a little bit lower resolution if you want to. It depends on your camera. My camera is not good, so I have to put it at 1920 by 1080. But keep your camera on 60 frames per second, no matter the quality. Like if I put this bad boy up to 2560 by 1440, I need to put my quality. See, I don't even have 60 unless I go down here to 1920 by 1080. Webcam color format, I have the MJPEG 709, color range full, and I don't buffer the web camera. I'm gonna hit cancel. I don't want to save anything in case I messed up something on my web camera. Now here's something else very important on your gaming PC. Make sure your audio going out is your Elgato. And then on your streaming PC, make sure you go over here to your sound devices. So at the bottom right, double click this sound icon button, or right click and click sounds. Hit recording. You see your Elgato capture card up here. Or you should see your Elgato capture card up here. You're gonna click properties, hit listen, and you can listen to this device and play it back. And that way you can hear it. Hit continue running when on battery power as well. This is gonna be your default playback device. But don't get it confused. When you go down here to your sound, if you wanna have a headset like me, open sound settings and make sure you have your headset, whatever it is. I just have this speaker. For your input, make sure your input device is going to be your microphone. I'm using GG Series to use some AI to make my audios cleaner. But make sure whatever your microphone is, you put it here. Now let's get into the video part. Go to settings. Under general settings. This is what my general setting tab looks like. Very basic. Let's go over here to the stream side. On YouTube, I'm streaming YouTube. Put the ignore streaming service setting. For your output, audio encoder should be about the same. Video encoder, I have a 2080 Ti for my streaming PC, so I can use this new encoder. If you have a 1080 Ti, you have to use the H.264. But the 2080 and above, I recommend the new encoder, NVENC HEVC. I have my resolution at 2560 by 1440. Rate control, CBR. My bit rate's higher. I have fiber internet. If you don't have fiber internet, you're going to have to drop this down. Do a speed test. I put 35,555. You may have to drop it down to 13,500 if your internet's not great. My keyframes, 0. Preset, P7 for slowest. Tuning, high quality. Multi-pass mode, 2 passes, full resolution. And for the profile main, psycho visual tuning, checked. Max B-frames, 2. GPU should be default 0 for your dedicated GPU for the streaming part. If you go up here to advanced settings, or let's go to video first. Video, make sure you have your 2560 by 1440 if you want to do this 2560 by 1440. But make sure here you have your 60 frames per second. Again, the 60 frames, it seems crazy, but this is the only way to bypass that artifact thing for now. Go to advanced, my render, default, color NV12, color space 709 with range as limited. You go down here and boom. Basically the default settings. There is one thing that I may want to show you inside the game. My game is New World. Inside my game settings, here's what it's going to look like. Under video tab, make sure you keep your frames uncapped here, because you're already limited at 60 inside your NVIDIA settings. If you have AMD, you probably use AMD Radeon Chill, 60 top, 60 bottom. Don't go more than 60. I put most of my video settings on high. I do have that 2560 by 1440p resolution. All these settings are on high for my machine. Dynamic resolution off. VSync on. You need VSync or you're going to tear with this 60 frames per second on a high refresh rate monitor, and also with the capture card going through. Cap frames per second off as well. So let me show you a little bit about what this is going to look like when I actually stream it on YouTube. So if I go over here to my browser, I go to YouTube, I go up here to my stream, go live. I'm just on another profile so that I don't mess up my main streaming. So on YouTube, make sure, very important, that you have your latency on normal. If you have normal, it's probably about 9 to 10 second delay, but your quality is drastically improved. So let's go back over here. Let's go over here on the streaming PC. I'm going to hit start streaming button. Boom. And it's going to start streaming this on YouTube now. I do have this on unlisted just so that I can watch it by myself. I'm going to copy this link here. I'm going to paste it here. I thought I copied it. Oh, nope, it's not working. So let me just pause it. And let's play New World for a minute so you can see how the game is looking on the YouTube. So we're going to run around for a second. Let me turn off the HUD. But you see how clear the road is here on my game? And the recording program, it's very clear. But we want to see if it's that same crystal clear quality. And you see the water right here? You see how the water is moving, that high frame rate? We want to make sure it's capturing that. And my helmet. Look at this shiny metal on my helmet. I want to make sure we're capturing that. Let's throw down some skills. My skills, look at the snow. You can see the texture pretty well. Look at this line of ice. When I ride my mount, I think this is when I drop the most frames on a low rig machine, but on a high rig machine, you don't drop frames. YouTube may render less of your stuff. You might get some artifacting. But even here in the town, I'm not noticing any frame rate change. I'm on a horse. Let's go over here. Let's play it back and see what this looked like. Play back for about a minute. And let's put it on 1440p. Pretty good. I mean, this quality is pretty good. Like, I'm able to see the texture. The ground's not artifacting. And this is live on YouTube. Like, this is a video that people are seeing on YouTube when they're watching live. So you notice the stairs. You can still see the wood, which is pretty good. Yeah, this is pretty good overall. Now, you may see my screen's a little bit darker on the recording. I'm not sure yet. I have to double check it. I do want to show you one more thing that you can do to make your stream look a little bit more sharp. If you have a good NVIDIA graphics card like 4080 Super or above for this type of stuff. So we see this works. There's no artifacting. You go back into New World. You can press Alt F3. It will open up the NVIDIA game filters. Or Alt 3. Nope, Alt F3. Oh. And you can enable game filters. I guess I didn't launch earlier with the game filters on. But yeah, this is it. Hope you guys like the stream. If you have any questions, email tametheark@gmail.com. You can send screenshots if you're having trouble with your configurations or anything, and I'll try to help you. My goal is to help as many people be able to stream as possible, because we'll have more entertainment and more information spread. I do plan on doing a video similar to this for the ets.com platform. I'm still tweaking out the details. Unfortunately, their frame per second is closer to 30, so there is definitely going to be artifacting if I'm on about 60 frames per second. So subscribe to the channel if you like this type of content. Thank you for watching. My name's Tame the Ark, and for you guys that are curious, you need a very good DisplayPort cable. Make sure your DisplayPort cable is the one that came with your Elgato capture card, or a newer DisplayPort cable for your monitor DisplayPort. For your capture card, HDMI. Make sure the HDMI cable has a high enough bandwidth, and then you should be good. You plug your big graphic card, like your 4080 Super in your gaming PC. For your streaming PC, you do the Elgato capture card, and you do like a 2080 Ti or 1080 Ti. You take one display port, plug it from your 4080 Super, your gaming PC, into your gaming monitor. You take the HDMI, plug it into your video card on your gaming PC as well. Run that over to your capture card, your Elgato, on your streaming PC. Plug it into the port that says N. And then for your streaming PC, just run a display port or HDMI from your graphics card to your monitor so that you can actually see stuff to start a stream and everything. Hopefully these steps help you. If you have any questions, reach out.